Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Self Development with Tactics podcast. And as you can hear, my voice is getting a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit better, which is really, really great. And today, as you can see in the background, or not really, you can only see text. But we go ahead with the Virality book, the book about how something can go viral and or not, which is then the opposite thing. But I think it's just quite a great book. There is a lot I can say to it, additionally to it, and it's making fun, especially with all these videos. It's just always making fun because I really like doing them. I not gonna lie, I really like doing them. But let's see where we are and what you can actually see. So you can see this. Let's see. So I think people don't just care about how they are doing; they care about their performance in relation to others. I've gone through this one. Game mechanics helped. Yeah, people are talking because they want to show off their achievements, but along the way, the way they talk about the brands. I've talked about this one as well. People don't need to be paid to be motivated. People are happy to talk about companies and products they like. Give people a product they enjoy and they'll happy to spread the word. Interesting products didn't get any more ongoing word of mouth than boring ones. Why does it matter if particular thoughts or ideas are top of mind? Because accessibility, thoughts, and ideas lead to action. Could voting in a church lead people to think more negative about abortion or gay marriage? Could voting in school lead people to support education funding? So we will go ahead with: could voting in a church lead people to think more negatively about abortion or gay marriage? Or could voting in a school lead people to support education funding? I don't really see where they're going, but according to the thing they had said before, which is then different locations contain different triggers, which make total okay. It's now. Jetzt means now. I'm just quite all the time, or sometimes, mixing up English with German and German with English, and I shouldn't really do that. But, yeah, never mind. So now it makes sense. So just if your environment or your location really matters that much, would it then be like, if you're in church and then you're voting, would you then be more negative about certain things or not? I would say not as drastic as it might seem to be. So like this, I think this example with the church and the school are, I wouldn't say so that this would work, because it's just then about, or still about, your opinion on these certain topics. If it's I don't know, a quick example. Go. It might be like, you like chocolate. So, and then you're in a chocolate making factory or something. And then you are in a room where dark chocolate is really praised and everything is great and everything is golden and everything is pretty luxurious and looks amazing and surprises you and all these other feelings they could occur. And then you go into a room where it's about, I don't know, not dark chocolate, but like white chocolate, let's say white chocolate, and everything is not golden but maybe silverish or just grayish or brownish or even bluish, because bluish is really a color so people say, or I've read or I've heard in school actually, that if you're just eating off a blue plate, you won't eat that much, because your subconscious mind be like, this is blue, and blue is not really a color you should eat. So nothing you eat or would eat, so no, I don't know, no vegetables or fruits or whatever are blue as I know. Maybe there are some, um, gene manipulated or certain, you know what I mean, uh, gene manipulated stuff. This could work. I think there's actually a strawberry, like it's blue, because they made it blue. And but so you shouldn't really eat, or if you just really want to lose weight, you should eat from a blue plate, because nothing is blue, and your brain says you shouldn't really eat something that's blue because it's probably not that eatable. Um, but I stopped about or with the chocolate example. But if then going to the white chocolate and everything is just pretty shitty and you do not really like it or not, you just you're pretty neutral. And but the thing is, with the dark chocolate everything was so great and everything was happy, and I don't know. And then you go to the white chocolate and everything is sad and shitty and bullshit. And then somebody asks you, what do you like more, dark chocolate or white chocolate? Even though white chocolate isn't even chocolate, but rather some kind of cacao mass shit. But you probably will then say the dark chocolate, because um, because you've seen, or if you're just staying in this room as well as they were asking you. So you were staying in that room with the dark chocolate, which is way better. And then I think the environment itself really triggers something and really can manipulate you, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. Top of mind means tip of tongue. But as we saw in our fruits and vegetables study, a strong trigger can be much more effective than a catchy slogan. Even though they hated the slogan, college students ate more fruits and vegetables when cafeteria trays triggered reminders of the health benefits. Just being exposed to a clever slogan didn't change behavior at all, which I think is totally true. A slogan is just some words. If they just some kind of trigger something in you, or just really are connected to you in certain ways that are maybe private, or just your private life, then I think you will first of all just remind yourself of the slogan a lot more than maybe other people. But the thing is, and second of all, it's just that there is a connection between you and the slogan, and so it then would be some kind of the trigger. But if this is just a person, he reads some words, they just mean like, or just think like, these are some words, and this is a slogan, and maybe it's a cool slogan, it's a bad slogan, or it's a pretty shitty one. But let's see. Let's see. Products and ideas also have habitats, or sets of triggers that cause people to think about them, which I think is totally true. Triggers and cues lead people to talk, choose, and use. Social currency gets people talking, but triggers keep them talking. Top of mind means the tip of tongue again. The reasons people might share things are that they are interested in that they are useful. It turns out, and I think it's pretty great that they point out that they should be useful. So I think, and even, or especially, or actually, they've pointed it out a little bit on top of this article as well, that your product should be, capable of doing something. Your product should be good. And I think it's totally the case, because in terms of marketing, you cannot market a shitty product. If you have a shitty product and you market it, you're either lying, or just you have to market it as a shitty product. But if you just market it as a so good product, and it helps you do this and that, and then you might just be lying, and this shouldn't be the case. And then people buy it, and then they see it is shit, and they won't spread the word, they won't share it, they won't do anything with it, but pretty much hating you. I think, I guess, unfortunately. Sorry. Yeah, it turns out that science articles frequently chronicle innovations and discoveries that evoke a particular emotion readers. That emotion, Ovi, 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 Ave, Ave. I don't know. It's AWE, and they explain it in the next paragraph. Ave or AWE or AVE or whatever it is called is the sense of wonder and amazement that occurs when someone is inspired by great knowledge, beauty, sublimity, or might. Articles that evoked anger or anxiety were more likely to make the most emailed list. Rather than harping and features or facts, we need to focus on feelings, the underlying emotions that motivate people to action. And I think, and I will say it again, and I've said it in the last 15 episodes, it feels like it, but when we buy something, we really buy just emotions, and that's what I believe, and that's what I've read, and this is what I also some sort of experienced. If you buy yourself a Ferrari, you just do buy it because you get the feeling of maybe, and especially something that's really been emphasizing or amplifying with the internet and social media and so on, because then you go on Instagram, you scroll through, and then you see some pretty hot guy sitting in his Ferrari with a lot of chicks around him and so on, and then you then be like, I really want to be like him. If you're a man, if you're if you could be a girl as well and just be like, I would like to have such a man. But the thing is, then you as a man be like, yeah, I really want to be like him. And then you think like, oh yeah, if I buy myself a Ferrari, all these things will happen. And so at the end, you just buy an emotion, the emotion of being some kind of important. And by the way, everybody wants to be important. This is also something I believe in. This is also something that I've read in How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a great book. But we all just about importance. We all just want to be some sort of important, or in some way. Just if you, I don't know, if you buy your Ferrari, you want to be important with your, with your money, or, if you just think a little bit with it or through this, through certain scenarios or different scenarios, you can just, I think you begin to emphasize with this particular thought. But at the end, we just buy emotions. Rather than harping, I've read that. If situational factors end up making us psychologically aroused, we may end up sharing more than we planned. I'm just thinking about if aroused really means then, if it's if it's arousing in a negative way or it's arousing in a positive way. And I hope that it is both, because I particularly think that arousement in a negative way still makes up more shares than positive ones, because you're like, this is total shit, just look at it, ha ha ha, it's totally not true, and so on. But it would be good to hear that even if it's something positive, just people are like, just look at this really made my day, this is great. And the thing is, I'm just thinking about what I will share or what I'm actually sharing. I'm actually sharing most of the time my own stuff into my own story. No, yeah, but it's actually true. But the thing is, if you share something with friends, it's actually most of the time something funny. Just something funny in a, I'm gonna say just, see crazy people and then I share it or something like that. And but if I share something that's really making me angry, I don't know, but I could actually, I'm just not really denying it. It could be possible. Observability has a huge impact on whether products and ideas catch on. What is observability? And we'll head to the DeepL website, I've, I could just think about it. I'm always just relating this shit. Really hate myself. um, don't not really get that one. So this is the point where I have to say, if there is something you wanna tell me or tell the whole audience or wanna talk about or just whatever, DM me on every single platform, which is down in the description if you're on the YouTube video, and if you're on a podcast, it depends on the platform, but there should be somewhere somehow a podcast description where all my links should be in. Then you can just comment on any post. You can DM me. You can comment down here on YouTube. You can do such a lot of things. You could write me an email. It should be actually somewhere. But yeah, so just if you want to ask me something, if you really want to give me something in terms of information, if I just haven't get something in this article, or you think this is something I haven't been talking about, but this is really important, and so you can send me it, and then I'll just tell you or tell it in the next episode, or just post it or whatever. But we will head on. Designing products that advertise themselves is a particularly powerful strategy for small companies or organizations that don't have a lot of resources, which is totally true. Behavioral residue is the physical traces of or remnants that most actions or behaviors leave in their wake. As something is built to show, it's built to grow, which is true. Yeah, if you just show it, then the person who owns it shows it off some kind of way. I'm just thinking about it as this, and I'm thinking about a Lambo. You buy yourself a Lambo to some sort of show off somehow, even though you're not really liking it, you're doing it anyways. But then people are like, this is a great car, I'll buy mine, also some day later or something, or now even, and then they show off themselves and so on. If it's a good example with the Lambo, I don't know, but I think it's true. It's actually true. People like to pass along particular useful information news others can use. That's actually true. Offering particular value helps make things contagious. Which is, I think, amazing that they just, really point out that giving value is great. And it is actually great, because it is something I've really been emphasizing and really been learning and really been using in the last, months. I've been doing this whole YouTube and social media thing. I really try to put out as many value as I can. Value in terms of, and the thing is, value. And the funny thing is that yesterday I've just been through a transcript of the video. So because I always just, look through the transcript of the video to see if there is something in it I could use to post on Instagram or something. And then I've seen I've just really been talking about value on this episode as well. And I think by now that value is indeed a pretty spongy term, because, value could be happiness, value could be love, value could be information, value could be a lot of things, and this really depends then on your target group or the person who is just reading it. The thing is, I really hope to give somebody value by either motivating them or giving them information they need, or just knowledge or facts or whatever. And just if you try to do this all the time, or most of the time, it's all the time, you help people, and through helping them, the byproduct of it is they will follow you, they will give you money some later on, maybe they comment on your posts, they like your posts, and so on. So at the end, everything moves because of you helping other people. And this is something you really, and I really have to take and have in mind, that if you help people, you will get something back secondarily or just besides that. So if you just focus on helping people all the time, So your primarily thing you do is helping people. You will get money, followers, and all this shit besides that. Just, secondarily. It's just around the way. And this is something amazing. And if you think about it, it's actually true. Because then they like your content, not in terms of they're clicking the like button, but they like it. They find you great because you give them value and information and whatever they need, and so on. So it's just, I think it's pretty great that it is like it is. Offering particular value helps make things contagious. One of the biggest drivers of whether people share promotional offers is whether the offer seems like a good deal, or I think it's funny, or just shareable. If I don't know, Coca-Cola or Fanta or whatever, if they make a really really great advert, just a funny one or an informative one, I would share it as well. And if it just goodly produced, or well produced, and the camera setup was amazing and it's looking like a movie, I will share it as well, because I like arty stuff. I like things that got produced well, that got made well, and so on, and then I will share it actually. Not surprisingly, the size of the discount influences how good a deal seems. More people said they would purchase the grill in scenario A, even though they would have had pay a higher price, $215, rather than $230 to get it. So I have to read it again. More people said they would purchase the grill in scenario A, even though they would have had to pay a higher price. So just because the discount is bigger. And this is actually something I've been wondering all the time on Amazon. If these discounts are just how these sellers just, present their products, if it's even the right thing, or if it's just even the truth. Because on Shopify, it's like you can post there, just, on the quotation marks, you can post there your products, and then you can be like, this is my product, this was the price before, and this is actually the price now. The thing is, the price before can be changed by yourself, and the price now, of course, can be changed by yourself as well. So you can be like, the price before was $500. If it's just, a pretty, luxurious item, or it seems like a luxurious item, and this is the price now, and it's just now $50. And I'm thinking about it, and it should be working on Amazon as well, if they actually do this. Because I've seen a product, this was, I don't know what it was, but it was, or it had a discount of, I think, 80%. And just thought like, this can't be true. Because, who the fuck gives a discount of 80%? Just right away. And it seemed like all the time like this. So I don't know, I have to check if I just find something like this another time, but yeah. The way people actually make decisions often violates standard economic assumptions about how they should make decisions. Judgments and decisions are not always rational or optimal. Instead, they are based on psychological principles of how people perceive and process information. Which is, I think, true, and these are just patterns. Everybody or every person has certain patterns how they proceed informations, and how, based on that, how they make decisions. And this is the fucked up part, because everybody has their patterns, and it's, I think, pretty hard to break your own patterns. And the thing is, because of your patterns, you will always make the same decisions, and you will also stay the same through this. So if you really want to get rich, and you just have the same patterns of, wasting your money, not taking that offer, not doing that, not doing this, and so on, you will stay the same wealthy. And the bad, or the even worse part of that is, that these patterns got to you by your parents or whoever, parented you. Um, which is then like, you can't do anything about it. You think, or you might think, but I think you can actually do something about it. I do not by now know how, but I guess I will discuss or see if there is a book summary on that or an article on that, and then I'll discuss it with you, because this would be actually something valuable for me, for you, for everybody, so on. Yeah. One of the main tenets of prospect theory is that people don't evaluate things in absolute terms. They evaluate them relative to a comparison standard or reference point, which is totally true. Diminishing sensitivity reflects the idea that the same change has a smaller impact the farther it is from the reference point. Don't get it? If the product's price is less than $100, the rule of 100 says that percentage discounts will seem larger. The rule of 100 says that percentage discounts will seem larger, which is totally true. If you be like, you have, it actually seems like, and it's definitely something psychological, because it doesn't make any sense. If you have a product that costs, I don't know, $100, $100, 100 pounds, whatever currency you have, and then you get 10% off of it, I think off of it, then it only costs you $90, and it seems pretty good. And even if it's maybe $20, you then just only pay $80. But the thing is, if you have a product for I actually have to so you have a product with $800. No. And then you only have $720. Even, this seems even a little bit bigger, but maybe only because I'm just thinking about it and just going through it like this. I don't know. Maybe, 10 bucks seems definitely less than, I don't know, $80. It's definitely less, but maybe it's like, you see it and then you'd be like, this is under $100. And so it then may be like $80. And the thing is, the other product is $800. So from the beginning on, and if you just take 10% off of it, it doesn't matter anyways if you just pay $800 or $720 for, or maybe for most of the people. It might be like this. I could understand that. Stories then can act as vessels, carriers that help transmit information to others. Information travels under the guise of what seems like idle chatter. Virality is most valuable when the brand or product benefit is integral to the story, when it's woven so deeply in the narrative that people can't tell the story without mentioning it, so mentioning the product. Certain characteristics make products and ideas more likely to be talked about and shared, and these characteristics are all these things we were discussing in the summary. And this is actually the end of the summary, and I know that I haven't been going through all these things I've been reading by now, especially in the last part now, because I didn't really know what this was about, and I'm sorry for that. I'm very, very sorry for that. And I will this one. Diminishing sensitivity reflects the idea that the same change has a smaller impact the farther it is from the reference point. And I translate myself that. Um, mm, I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't get it. I can help myself. It's but that's the bad part about it. About these summaries is that you just really can only get through these things that are staying here, that are written down here. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. Sorry. So now it's great. That you can only go through things you just see there, and you just can read there, and so on. This is the pity about it. That's something else than just really going through the actual book, because then you just have everything is explained pretty well, I guess, and or I hope. But now with this, I can just be like, yeah, I can think of things that may mean that or may be meant by this. But I actually have to talk about something as well, and this is how I got who I am. And this is actually something I want to talk about, and I think that could give you some value. Um, so everything began with my heart being broken by that doesn't matter. Um, but it was in 2016 actually, I guess. From this point on, I was pretty fucked up and I was pretty mad and sad and so on. Um, the thing is, then I got really into motivational speeches. Speeches from Les Brown, Eric Thompson, and at this time, not really Tony Robbins, because I didn't like him that much that time. Now I really love him because I see that there is more behind him, not actually this motivational part, but also this financial part and so on, which is, or I think it's pretty great and pretty interesting and pretty valuable that he shares his thoughts and his insights. But nevertheless, I've been just really going through these motivational speeches all the time, really all the time. Like, I was crazy. I was, yeah, not all the time. In school, I couldn't really listen to them, but on the way to school, on the way to my bus, on the way to the train, on every way to somewhere, I was listening to these motivational speeches, and they gave me a lot of value. They gave me a lot of motivation and a lot of right patterns to think and to act some sort of, because they really teach you, yeah, do not be sad because it's only that, and this doesn't matter actually. And the fact is, 99% of things do not matter, and a lot of people, and I always, or as well, tend to be fucked up about things that do not really matter. So there is actually really like 1% that matters, and I know that, but the thing is, I just get mad at certain things, anyways. But the thing is, what did I want to say? These motivational speeches really helped me get to the person and to the characteristics and to the patterns of thinking I have now. And this is actually something I really want you to do as well, or try as well at least. Maybe even listen to them while you're sleeping. This may be actually a good idea, because then it's really going into your subconscious mind. Really like totally like really like, yeah. And but this is actually something that helped me, and I think this was actually the beginning of my journey. At the first time, only just being about, like, happy about myself and happy. So I was never really depressed, I just have to say this. I was never really like, yeah, I don't know, I was never that down. I just was always quite a happy person in general. But this, I really have to plug in my, I really don't want it to, even though I have, where is it? Found it. I really don't want to lose that recording. So And I think it really helped me get the right thinking in my mind, get the right things in my mind, being that confident in my mind. Um, Often these were stories, and this also just by reflecting it now, this also showed me how really important these or in general storytelling is, because it really helped me. And if you want to check these out, I some time ago just collected all these motivational speeches I was listening to quite all the time. And the thing is, just I think it was 2 months ago or something, or 1 month ago, I really saw that the most speeches were from Will Smith. And I always thought, like, this everything is from Les Brown, and these all things are so great and whatever. But the actual thing is, they were all from Will Smith, and he has so great speeches. It's not. Uh, so he has a lot of great quotes, I would say. About the speeches, I don't really know because I don't listen to dedicated speeches of him, but really mashups and or edits and so on. But nevertheless, there is a playlist on my channel which is called Motivational Speeches even, and these are actually all the motivational speeches I've been listening to. I fortunately enough have screenshotted all of them before I just deleted all them because I needed the space on my smartphone. But yeah, if you want to check them out, it would be it would be good for you, I think. For me, I really want you to. I will not be like, it doesn't matter for me, but I hope you do it. Please do it. And I'll see you actually the next time. And I hope everything is doing well at your time, or your life, or your day, or whatever. And I'll see you the next time. I love you. Bye.